Hey, welcome back, and challengers, we now are 3 weeks in. We're at that halfway point, and this is a really fun, this is a really exciting time to cross this mark, and knowing that we have an understanding, we kind of know what it takes. I know these first couple weeks we're still really uncertain, unsure, and don't really have a sense of time or a sense of pace on this. But right now we know we are halfway, and 3 weeks kind of flew by, and these next 3 weeks are going to go by really, really quickly. So as far as our check-in points, I'd love to see you guys in that 7 to 10 pounds lost so far. That's kind of a safe place to be. It's pretty typical that somebody could be 7 pounds or so at this halfway mark. If you're not quite there yet, if you're less than 7, definitely want to check in with your coaches and figure out what are some additional changes that can happen in order to get you back up to speed, get you back up to pace. So we've been checking in each week, getting those positive feedback loops, dialing in on movements, dialing in with our meal planning and progression, and making sure that we are executing on the proper plan. So really excited to see that understanding, kind of knowing, all right, we got to really start that sprint towards the finish line. And I would say start that sprint now. Don't wait till that last week. Really start to push that extra pedal to the metal, because you understand what it took to get this far in 3 weeks. And you know how far you want to be in the next 3 weeks as well. So you're committed. And I want to say right now at this point, congratulations. You made it farther than most people make it for their average New Year's commitment, right? Or their resolution. And we know that that word commitment, it talks about staying true or staying loyal to what you said you were going to do, probably beyond when those initial moods or kind of that feeling or sentiment that you committed to, right? That you don't feel that way anymore. Might see some ups and downs in your excitement, but ultimately staying committed means that you're going to stay true. You're going to stay on that commitment path towards what you said you were going to finish on, right? So as far as physically, by this time here, gang, you guys are very acclimated, right? You understand the muscle soreness, that rhythm of the activity, putting that food in, that fuel, and you're really getting acclimated as far as the physical sense. This is where I like to really start to tap into that mindset and getting into what we know as relentless, right? And we kind of understand what it might feel like to now feel like you're checking all the boxes and you're doing everything that you should be doing, but are you giving it everything you've got for each of those little boxes to check, right? Are you just kind of going through the motions? Are you going through that above and beyond type of approach? And that's something that we want to figure out and just really start to acknowledge and welcome in every part of our life, right? That above and beyond in everything that you do, it's that extra rep. It's not giving up the 5 seconds early in every single buzzer. It's probably parking a little bit farther in the parking lot. It's on the weekend having fun with our friends and our families, right? It's not taking a true day off. It's doing something each and every day, waking up hungry, looking and pursuing and seeking out that extra little advantage, right? As human beings, we want to make sure that we're a little bit better than average, and this is where that mindset comes in on this second week here. Talk about that self-talk, that self-chatter. What are those thoughts or those concepts going through your head? There's an old saying, and it goes, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And so I want to make sure that at this point you set your heart, you set your mind on what you can do, right? Are you asking yourself the right questions? And are those questions leading to the right actions? Are you happy where you're at right now, or would you like to see a little bit better? And that's where you can kind of get that little checkpoint, right? And being realistic. On a scale of 1 to 10, are you sticking to the fitness plan, the food plan, right? The freaking plan. Are we sticking to it? And so you kind of get that feel on yourself. Hey, yeah, I might give myself a 6 or a 7. I want to improve on this. Well, what's that going to take, right? Does that mean cleaning back up on the food plan? Does that mean better quality movements or getting those extra reps in after the bell? It might be going to corrective class this week. It might be getting my MyZone strapped on. It could be sleeping a little bit more this week. Look for those areas that you can squeeze a little bit more out of what you're currently doing, right? Put those all together and they'll amass to some great success. This is the last 3-week push, or the 21 days to the finish line. Another time for most of you guys are going to be picking up on that detox supplement as well. Remember, that's something you're going to be taking about 3 times a day, right? You break it up into a couple different pills. so that way you're taking them with your meals, and that's going to start flushing out those toxins, cleaning out the digestive tract, and also sweeping out through the liver and kidney, so that you're able to really make the most of this last 3-week push here. So as you guys are taking those, remember to increase your water as well. So that's the detox, starts now all the way through your finish. Also want to talk about this time where some of you might feel the need to take matters into your own hands and start to change or modify your meal planning. And this is a good time to just, if anything, check back in with your coaches. A mistake that I see commonly here, people want to accelerate and they are getting into this rhythm and getting into this grind here. And a common mistake is people start to cut their calories or cut their meals or cut their carbs. And again, if this isn't something that your coaches have advised, then again, please go back and stick to that plan. If you're not sure, or if you're looking for a little jump start to your meal planning cycle, meet in with those coaches. Again, you have those meal planning sessions available each and every week. You can spend that time with your coaches, really carve out a little more time than trying to rush it within workouts or trying to text or call back and forth. Just carve out that time to sit down with the coaches proactively, so we can really get into all the details and make sure that we're making those appropriate recommendations for you. But definitely don't want to be just cutting calories, cutting carbs, because we need that energy in order to put in the performance required to get you the results that you're after. So again, be real cautious about that. And if you're not sure, you're not certain, just make that time to check in with your coaches for any sorts of revisions that might be possible there. And now the last piece here this week is you guys are really acclimated, as we said, physically, getting to recognize a little bit more of the mindset and just appreciating how far you've come here so far. I want that next piece of positive feedback to be coming from you're being a little more aware and conscious of things like compliments, right? People are coming up to you and you might just kind of shrug them off, and you might just not accept those, right? But I want to encourage you guys to hear those, and people are noticing your energy, people are noticing your excitement, people are noticing these little things that you might not recognize. But this week we're going to tune in just a little clearer, and we're going to accept those. We're going to say thank you for those, right? And hey, even along with your Fit Fam, you might be paying some of these forward, right? Noticing somebody's working a little bit harder, noticing somebody got in a little bit early today. Hey, thanking that teammate for picking you up and giving you that extra high five on that set that you really needed it. This is that little magic piece, that glue, that X factor that's going to help us commit to it, that's going to help us stay true to it, stay loyal to it, even when those feelings sometimes fall off or fade off. We know that what we said we wanted to do is really something that we're after, right? And we want to stay committed to that even when things might not be easy, or we feel like we might not be going in that right way. I want to make sure that we stay true to that, stay on that path. So good luck with this halfway point here, team, and we'll be excited to check in with you. Continued progress back here again next week.